G's
The
in.
G-Man's in, isn't he?
The G is in.
Evening, peoples.
How's
My
everybody
beloved-
doing?
My beloved's in.
Yeah.
And G's in. Hope we're all
G.
doing well. Just wait for a few people to come in while we waffle. So how is everybody this week?
Yeah, not too
Do
bad.
you?
Once this 2-day cold crap goes away, I'll be fine. It's always
Yeah,
lovely
well,
when you go to bed feeling completely fine. Wake up the next morning, you're like, yeah, I can't breathe.
You've got Trumpitis.
Just drink some
No,
bleach, you'll be all right.
I don't think I'm king of the world. We're okay.
King Trump.
Oh, sorry, then, Jake. We'll speak up a bit.
At least it's not both ears, G. I mean,
Well, I mean, speaking of being deaf in at least one ear, Bill, how was the show?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
well, half of it was.
And, well, yeah. Well, 2/3 of it was. It was only a third of it that Satriani dominated.
Fretboard fucking wanker.
No. Top 4 fret wanker.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't get me started. I just, no.
I mean, the one good thing was Steve Vai can play the Hydra.
Oh, yeah. Steve Vai, I really like. I like Steve, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's when you see him play that fucking instrument live.
Yeah, and Satriani is just a prize instrument.
But
There'll
yeah,
be millions of people around the world who will hate me for saying shit like that, but sorry, it's just my opinion, so okay.
I was talking to people before the show and I said, never been a Satriani fan.
Yeah. See, you did something cultural. I've had a nice chilled out day. Dipshit Tyler's been going round mud bogging in the Jeep.
It
No,
is what
stop,
it
man.
is.
Bruce
Hey,
proves that he's
At
a
least nothing
redneck.
broke. We made it all the way back.
That is true.
Hey, Mel.
Well, first time for
Hey,
everything,
Melissa.
Tyler.
You know?
Give
And
it
the
to
funny
him,
part
Melissa.
was the whole agreement was we'll do the trail, but we're not going through the mud pits and everything. Thanks to the 10 hours of rain, the trail was a mud pit.
Words fail me.
Well, honestly, like I get wanting to do it through the woods, and have more ups and downs and hills to go through. But the way they have it designed, if you actually have an emergency, if you're stuck anywhere, you've got 5 or 10 Jeeps on either end of you in the stretch going through this trail.
Yeah, but are they organised enough to pull in the same direction?
Well, they're all going the same
Probably
direction,
not.
but the idiot that was in front of us kept going so far ahead of us that you couldn't see each other. So if we got broken down or stuck, there was no one to pull us out. I mean, obviously, for anything off-road like that in a group, you stay within, eye distance of each other.
Yeah.
Did you have to use your own Jeeps, or did they provide Jeeps?
No, this is everybody. The worst part about it, Craig, is it's anybody that wants to show up. So there's people that have, I just have enough money to buy a brand new Jeep and I've done nothing to it, no upgrades at all. I'm going to take it through a mud pit. They didn't make it very far.
So this weekend, really, you have been a true redneck.
I was walking through, and I looked at my mom and I said, it's funny to us. I said, I can't tell if this is actually a little bit cool or if it's just kind of really sad.
Did you have?
And then the announcer gets on and is sitting there screaming on the announce board. We have shocks, we have tires, we have fenders over here, we have bumpers over here, tire change station back here if you need new tires.
Fuck all to do with them selling bits. It's just because something had crashed in it and had fallen to bits.
Oh, some genius was going over the rock crawl, gunned it over a rock crawl, launched up sideways onto a boulder and cracked the radiator in half.
He did well.
It took a back almost an hour to lift him up and out of the hole they got themselves in.
He did well only cracking the radiator. I'm surprised he didn't crack the chassis.
Yeah.
Should you just tipped it over and just buried the fucking thing?
Well, if you flipped it twice, it would have landed in the mud pit, and the mud pit was deep enough you wouldn't have seen the Jeep anymore.
There you go. Problem solved. Honestly, I don't get it. I don't. You are getting more and more as you get older. You're getting more of a redneck. You know that.
No, it's just coming back.
You're going to end up with a Confederate flag on, that's going to be. You are, aren't you?
Tattooed down his right cheek.
No, left ass cheek. Oh, sorry.
That's not. No.
No, he's going to have the crossed Confederate flags on his forehead.
No, you know how the rednecks have the really bad angel wings on the back and everything? Just do 2 Confederate flags. Giant bald eagle in the middle. America is all hell. There you go.
Yeah, he's going to also have one on the right bum cheek, so that when he bends over, it's going to be 0-1. Just a good old boy.
Question is, who has 0 points, who has 1?
Oh, you've done it again. We're 12 minutes into the show, and it's declined into...
You're the one who brought up Jeeps, Matt.
I just said, where are people gone? All fucking redneck central there.
Lee, if I could have that car, I mean, yeah, it'd be repainted, but yeah, I would take that Charger.
Oh, Martin.
Hey up, buddy. Hope you're well.
Hey, Martin.
Okay, tonight we're going to talk about Goofy. No, we've already talked about Tyler. Sorry. We're going to talk about how pets help with mental health. Well, that's what Bill wants to talk about. How long it'll last, I don't think. But
no, it's just for a lot of people, pets help them in everyday life. Particularly when it comes to social situations.
Yeah.
You know, walking the dog, meeting up with friends, and you all sort of meet up and have a chat and walk the dogs together.
Oh, that's what dogging means.
No, that's something completely different, Matt.
You keep logging into the wrong account, Matt, and thinking you're on your other show.
No.
Late night talks with Matt. Anyway.
You don't want that. You really don't want late night talks with Matt.
Tyler, you've been in the Zoom room late night.
Oh, especially the nights where he slept an hour from the 2 days before.
Yeah.
Let's stick to animals for now.
That's where your head went. Come on, Matt. Did you sleep last night? Come on, dude.
Yeah, I did. I actually got over 3 hours sleep.
Did you?
Which is good for me.
It is.
Yeah. I agree with you about pets. Pets do make a big difference to mental health. They help massively.
I mean, at the same time, it's especially if it's certain. It depends what pet it is, obviously, on like lifespan. You know, the generic, cats, dogs. So, dude, you have an animal that many years.
Well, cats or dogs generally,
Hi,
unless
Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Unless there's an accident or bad health, then you're 10 years plus, isn't it? You know that.
Yeah.
You've got generally.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot longer. Smaller animals, yeah. That said, I had rats. I love rats. I really do.
I'll say I've got my rats and I love them, but I know the lifespan. You got maybe 3 years if you're lucky.
Yeah,
like if you're really lucky,
2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Well, I mean, something that's happening more and more is dogs are being recognised as support animals for people with severe anxiety conditions.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
when Jaeger was still around, I wouldn't have made it through all those years if I didn't have her to come home to. You know,
but they're being acknowledged to the point now they are allowed in places like restaurants and supermarkets as assistant animals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lee, in all fairness, she does bite him like a dog would. So,
yeah.
Matt made a mistake one time. He fed her snack through the bars of the cage, got nipped. You know.
No, she's never bitten me yet. She's hit me plenty of times.
I said, Lisa, the only problem now is you've got to get him to use the litter tray.
So she did the best thing she could. She took paper clippings of summer and lined the tray. I mean, gave him a target for it. He still missed.
So we got Melissa's got frogs, bearded dragons, and a dog. We got you with half a zoo.
Small zoo.
And the animals.
Okay, full zoo.
We've got Craig's dog who thinks it's in control of Craig because it tells him when to go to bed.
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
The dog's got an attitude problem.
She's very protective of the house.
The owner, not so much.
Couldn't do shit about the owner.
No, me not so much. I have to try and get to the front door before the post goes through the door. Otherwise,
Otherwise, she's eaten through another 3 bottles of e-liquid and 2 mods.
I know, they usually come as a parcel. So the doorbell's rung for the parcel. It's the letters. It's usually the bills that she rips up, so that's okay.
Craig, why has the electric not been paid in 6 months? I haven't gotten a bill.
Yeah, I've tried that one. It don't work.
The dog get my electric bill.
Doesn't work anymore. I've got mine on payment plans because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
You can save about 20% on your electric and gas bills.
Save 100% if you don't pay it.
You can, but I'll be sat in the dark. With no computer and no internet.
Yeah, don't pay the council tax. What's better?
Why should we pay our council tax? Why should we pay anything that goes to the government?
I was going to say, I don't pay the council tax.
I mean, look at the taxes I'm looking at. Even if I move out of the country, I'm still paying the same taxes.
I know, that's ridiculous.
Hey, funny you should say that, Martin. I wouldn't be surprised.
First off, possums wouldn't be that bad. Raccoons, I would not do because they're mean little fucks.
Yes, they are money grabbers, dear. They certainly fucking are. I'm not getting into the government shit. Although I will say, it now looks like the government is going to look into the whole rape gang thing.
I did see that article that's actually been put out.
Yeah, hell of a backtrack that one for Starmer, isn't it?
Yeah. This thing of if you move out of the States, you have to pay taxes still. Otherwise, you have to say you're not a member of America. It's ridiculous.
It's just one more thing of trying to control people, you know.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah, I see, Mr. Flip Flop, play.
If you move from America, you've got to still pay your taxes to America.
Yeah.
If you wish to return as an American citizen.
So say I move over and I don't pay the U.S. tax anymore. If I ever want to come back, even visiting family, whatever, then it's a whole process getting back.
Right. So in other words, basically, you've got to have a visitor's visa or something like that for it.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, but you also have to have citizenship of another country.
Yeah.
If you're still holding a US passport that's valid, you're paying tax.
We've gone down a fucking rabbit hole here, haven't we?
Started to.
I'm not going over the.
Well, in other news, I need to watch the whole thing so I can get the information for next week. But from the little bit I saw of Grimm's vlog this week, it seems like Big Tobacco over here is getting a little bit testy and a little bit worried about their revenue.
You don't say.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I will watch the rest of it later this weekend. That way I have more information for everybody. But yeah, let's hope we're actually irritating him enough to get something done.
Well,
I think America is in serious trouble. I really do.
On a lot of different fronts, so that's the problem, Matt. Because where do you really focus your energy? You know what I mean? Like where do you really focus your intent to try to fix anything? When okay, cool, you found one thing you need to work on, but there's 8 things behind you that are going to burn down the whole rest of everything if you don't focus on those 2. But you can't do it all.
It's easy to sit here and say, "Well, I'd focus it all on Trump and getting rid of him," but even if you get rid of Trump, you've got that idiot behind him.
Yeah.
Even say you get rid of both of them, okay? For conversation's sake, say you can somehow get rid of both of them. Well, think about all the people that we all know are most likely, if not definitely, making the actual decisions for things. They're just going to go to the next guy that gets put in that position and go, okay, you need to do it this way or things are going to not be great for you.
The problem is all of the people you've got in your equivalent of Parliament are all very rich people.
Yeah, and most of them are over the age of like 65 or 70.
Or
they're so stuck in old ways about shit that
the issue you've got is most of it, I would say 80-90% of those people should be retired and put in a care home somewhere.
If they weren't in that profession, they probably would have been already.
They're not fit to stand in their job.
The other problem you've got though is how much money are they taking from Big Pharma, health insurance companies, Big Tobacco?
Well,
all these groups against whoever, people, all of it.
You're talking, it's not millions, it's billions of pounds.
Yeah.
Billions of pounds.
See, Martin, the scary part is think how far we are into this term. We've got a lot of time left if nothing happens before then for other shit to keep going wrong and more, laws and old policies from 150, 200 years ago coming into effect. This is
Do you know what I love about America are your rules, right? I'm lightening it up a little bit here, is you've got all these new rules coming in, which are ridiculous that Trump is bringing in.
Yeah.
But when you look back through local, like your equivalent of local government, some of the rules you have for like California and you have for this state.
Oh, just the ones that were made by the states over all those years.
Dude. Right, and you guys can go and check this. It is illegal in California to ride your alligator on a Saturday night. You cannot park it near a fire hydrant on a Monday. These are genuine fucking rules some lunatic has made up.
No, you want to have a punch to the stomach? Think about this. In 2025, current salary per year for each individual congressperson, $174,000.
Yeah.
Same here.
Like,
yeah, that's basic.
The Speaker of the House goes up to $223,500.
This is before all the little backhanders and all of the extra payments
and right. That's governmental salary.
Yeah, this is the one bit though where the American system is screwed, is because all of the money for buying senators and congressmen, that's legal. In this country, if they tried the same trick, they'll be breaking the law.
Right.
In America, you can buy your senator, you can buy your congressman.
You say and you're right, Bill, it is illegal here. It is.
Yeah.
But we also know, as it was proved with Keir Starmer and his brethren, that it went on because they got backhanders another way. It wasn't cash payments. It was football tickets. It was the flat, wasn't it?
The gift idea thing.
Yeah.
The gift of the suits and ties and that sort of thing, yeah.
So you're telling me this man who has worked in an office all his fucking life doesn't possess a suit? Of course he fucking does. Glasses. Glasses, I think it was £2,000 for a pair of glasses.
$2,000 to £3,000 a pair, and he had several pairs.
You know,
what his job means he had to have numerous suits. He was a bloody barrister. They are everyday clothing to barristers.
Martin, are you up to go into Parliament while wearing a suit of armour? I quite fancy that one. I'd be quite amusing. Walk in with a broadsword and start swinging it at Keir Starmer.
No, you gotta have a claymore. That way you can just start spinning.
Yeah, claymore. The heavy claymores.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to go momentum and just take as many people out in your vicinity as you can.
Broadsword is better.
Yeah.
Logistically, yeah.
Yeah, you do more damage with a broadsword. And I know somebody who's got one, so that's right.
Matt, I could see you on the hillside with an Adelaide just slinging fucking bolts down.
Hey, don't joke. The archery bit's not a problem. And I can get hold of a longbow very easily. But anyway, before we go back to like medieval times and start attacking Parliament with fucking bows and arrows.
I've got it. Oh, never mind.
Well, you think a good archer?
Oh God, no, we're not.
Yeah, but a good archer has at least 400 yards.
Yeah.
There are some archers who could fire over half a mile.
And then some of those guys on horseback.
And also, if they use carbon fiber arrows, they go further as well and have a better trajectory.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true, Steve. But this isn't a new thing in America. It goes back.
Oh, that's been since the Industrial Revolution happened.
It goes back before. A long, long time. You know, the whole how big businessmen controlled government.
Well, think how Lisa was talking about the old mining towns and everything, right? That obviously was a lot more strict, a lot more, you're doing this, this is where you're buying your food, this is where you're living, right? Yeah. But if you look at it in a certain aspect, things aren't that far off depending on your life situation. But if you're financially bad off here, hey, I need help somewhere to live. Cool, we'll give you a place to live, but you're not going to want to live there.
Let's talk about your American mining towns, right? And I know this because I've watched it on some of the coal mining towns down in Virginia and around there.
Oh, okay.
And what they used to do was they would get people, mainly Irish or Scottish, actually, which is why there's a lot of Irish and Scottish families in that area, and German, of course. And they would get them there, and what they would do is say, right, yes, we've got a house for you and your family. Here you go. It comes with the job. But you pay for it out of your money that you get every week.
Your salary, right.
We don't pay you with cash. We pay you with tokens. They used to pay them with
that you can only spend at their
use at their company's store. So you had to go
worthless anywhere else.
So essentially, it was slave labor.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
And when you look back and trace it back, who owned these companies? It was people like Rothschild.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was unbelievable, the dodgy shit that was going on. And that is we're not talking like 500 years ago. We're talking 100 years ago. It was still going on up until the 50s, 60s.
I was going to say, it was still going until the 60s.
It's scary. I mean, in that way, America has been so far behind with some of the stuff.
Well, like I said, even looking at today and the people in power now, a lot of people are at either an age or a mindset they're not willing to change how they think.
I agree, Lisa.
And you've got these horrible things trying to be brought back.
Yeah, I agree with you. The carers, unpaid carers, it is slave labor.
Yeah.
What you get paid a week is a pittance to what a proper carer would be paid. The government,
they're basically using Lisa to do the job that they should be doing.
Yeah.
And then paying her shit off for doing it.
I don't know, and it's up to Lisa if she wants to say it, but it's not my business. But I know it would certainly be around under £100 a week. Well under. It's not a livable,
nowhere.
It's not a livable wage.
I know if you have to pay for carers, you're paying £28 to £35 an hour.
Yeah.
Those carers are getting £20 an hour. The company that organises them is taking £10 or £15 an hour from the money that is paid for your work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Just so nobody thinks I'm making this up out of my random mind, but there.
But no, it's that's not even a half a grocery trip,
It's not. It is. But the problem is the government are saying, oh, well, you can get a carer to come in to take over the person. So, I mean, if that's your mother or father or whoever. But half of the more elderly people don't trust these carers. And I think they're right.
Not only that,
look at all the instances that happen.
Tested.
Because it's means tested, you can end up paying that £30-35 an hour to get somebody in.
Yeah.
Well, then, like the care homes over here, you don't even want to use because there's more abuse cases than you even want to think about.
A lot of the care homes here are better.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
Yeah.
Cases of people giving, if you just go on wrong medications, not given medications, people left in
beds and having sores for weeks on end. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They might be, unfortunately, incontinent in both ways, which is not their fault, obviously. But they're just left in their own filth.
Never mind the personal items that are going missing.
Oh yeah, personal items that are getting stolen, and then they say, "Well, she's got Alzheimer's," so they're using that against the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, that isn't to say that every carer is the same, because there are a lot of people who do and work in care homes.
Well, keep in mind, my sister's been doing that for years, so I've seen her go from good to bad to worse places, depending where you get put to. Dude, some of these places, you walk in there as an actual proper medical professional, you go, I'm not staying here. I'm just not.
Yeah. No, it is atrocious what they do to people. It is so bad, and then you've got to try and prove it. You have
the same issue with certain mental health facilities.
Yeah.
Oh, they have schizophrenia or they're bipolar. They're just off their rocker. So we had. Okay, I understand in emergency situations and physical harm situations. Okay, that's one thing, but that's not what this is a lot of the
time. Oh God, what's the drug? The chemical kosh.
Habanepro.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah, so have I.
Fuck me, that stuff hits you like. There's a good one for you, Tyler. We'll get you some of that.
What is it? Is it like an industrial, antipsychotic, so to speak?
Yes, an anti.
No, it's an anti. Full stop.
Oh.
They inject it into you, usually in your arse cheek or wherever they can get hold of you. But they inject it, and within about, I don't know, it seems like seconds, but within a few minutes, it's like bang, you're fucked.
Go out.
The stuff's lethal. It's fucking unbelievable. I don't think they use it as much as they used to. I don't think they're allowed now.
No,
I wouldn't think so.
As interesting, it's not nice stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
See, Steve, that's another issue. You've got people that are career workers. They picked a facility they're going to be at, and they're putting their time and effort into making that facility what it should be. But then they're short staffed. You have agencies coming in. Hey, we have nurses for you, but they're only going to be there for 3 days.
Well, then
you give a shit in that 3 days.
Why is nobody monitoring that agency and saying these workers are not up to standard?
Because there's no one even past those shitty workers. There's nobody to take care of anybody, so they're using the shitty people just to have a body there.
Yeah. Why
is training have they had?
Exactly.
And from where do they get trained?
I'm not wishing to be racist here before anybody suggests it, but how many of these people who are dealing with mostly English-speaking patients or elderly people, how many of the people who are dealing with the elderly can speak English? Because we're now getting a hell of a lot who are, from different countries, Polish, Lithuanian, blah, 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 Romanian.
A lot from Africa, a lot from African countries as well.
And we're also getting a lot from the Far East.
Melissa, first of all, I quite believe, your mum is probably a very good caregiver. And they're getting paid absolute shit money. Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
Yeah, they're on minimum wage.
And what she probably has to go through.
If they're doing well, they might be getting £15 an hour.
Anybody who does that job and does it properly, full credit to you. Yes.
What? And thankfully, you can make better money being entry level at fast food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a job I'd want to do. Certainly not. Certainly not. But it's.
See, I'm set. My sister's already trained. My mom gets to that age. We move them in together. It's fine.
I'm telling your mum.
I've told her. It's better than looking at her and going, well, when you hit 64 and just 65 about there to retire, you going in a home. At least I'm not saying that.
Yeah, that's true, Steve. The agency are getting 18 to 20 pound an hour.
Yep.
Where the staff are getting 13 to 15 pound an hour.
Yeah.
It's not a massive difference.
Sometimes have more training than the agency.
Yeah.
The issue is
that's why a lot of people do agency, because you do make more money.
The issue to me isn't so much the agency staff or the staff at a care home. It is down to the people who are monitoring the staff. Because they're not monitoring the staff properly.
It's also down to the owners of the care homes, whether they're council run or privately run. Some of the privately run ones are abysmal.
Are being used for money-making reasons.
Yeah.
By certain ethnic minorities to put money through so they don't have to pay as much tax. Allegedly. No, Martin, the Asian nurse thing, that's a whole other... We'll talk about that later.
Martin, if you see the word farm, don't click the link Matt sends you.
It depends.
I thought you'd enjoy that one, Tyler.
I don't click on any links that Matt sends me.
That's why I sent you the link.
I did see in the group chat for the Facebook group, I couldn't tell if it was an old post or something you put in today, Matt, but something got removed for a community guideline violation.
It
was probably an old one.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago.
It was probably something about Starmer.
Probably.
I'll be careful if it's a Thai nurse because it might not be necessarily.
Just want to show him it.
I agree, Lisa. I totally agree with that. It's yeah, it is ridiculous that they refuse to pay you a proper wage as a carer when you're actually saving the country a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
But working on Keir Starmer's system of healthcare, we all know what Keir Starmer wants. He wants the patients, the people in care homes and the elderly to just hurry up and
die
and go.
Well, yeah.
Makes it easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I totally agree, Lisa. It's people did their usual trick. They believed Labour's absolute bullshit, absolute lies. I knew it was going to be bad when they were with Labour. We all knew it was going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
I mean,
Jesus.
It was the way Starmer was contradicting himself in some of the party leader questions before the election. He was contradicting himself.
Yeah, well, who else does that?
And all he said was whatever he thought would be popular at that particular time for that particular audience.
Yeah, what amazes me is you've got Keir Starmer doing it, you've got Trump doing it. I mean, Trump comes on, starts a conversation with one thing, and by the time we get to the end of the conversation, he's gone round the fucking and come back with something completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, does Donald Trump actually have Alzheimer's? Does he actually forget what he started talking about? I mean, I know I do it, but I have sort of medical reasons for that. His reason is he seems to confuse himself, and you get back and you're thinking, what is this fucking lunatic on about?
Maybe he's been watching Billy Connolly with him going round and then back to what he started on.
I can fall out with you, comparing Billy Connolly to Donald Trump.
I'm just saying.
I will punch you for that.
That was a little wrong, Craig. I ain't gonna lie.
The difference between Billy and Donald Trump, I know what you say, Craig. The difference is Billy Connolly can go off on one of his tangents, talk for 20 minutes about something completely different, and then come back
still get back.
Timing, bang, on the joke. Donald Trump,
Martin, it's if I actually go to the emergency room, like the A&E, it is astronomical. First off, how long you're going to wait to be seen, if you get seen within that day even, and the bill after the fact if they run certain tests. Oh wow.
The thing is, as somebody who's in the NHS or somebody who's, say, a nurse or a doctor, I wouldn't blame them at all for going to America and working in America, because they're going to get better paid.
But most of them can't cope with. They're dictated to by the insurance company. They have to have 4 or 5 secretaries to deal with the insurance companies. They've got claims adjusters. They've got people then who have to deal with the patients and try and sort out their finances so they can pay to see the doctor.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be sick in America, you've got to have money.
And think, the food that is available to the people that don't have money makes you sick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been proven. It's been proven that some of your water supplies and.
Listen, we had a recall a week and a half ago by a major company that has bottled water. Mind you, this is a parent company. They've got 7 different smaller companies underneath them, different brands, all that, but it's bottled fucking water. Come on.
It's all the same.
All of them in their facility tested positive for E. coli. Which is the main part of their job, is to make sure that one specific thing is not in the water.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust a water company where you can set fire to the tap.
Oh, when they're doing it in Michigan? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean...
But it's not just in Michigan, Tyler. There's a couple of other states have had the same issue.
Happened. Oh, yeah. Well, then there was the nitric acid spill that happened in Southern Ohio a week ago. Okay, thank you. But yeah, there was a huge chemical spill at one of the plants. One of the tanks ruptured and sent out nitric acid so much that you could see a yellow, basically a giant yellow cloud of acid floating around. They evacuated hundreds of square miles,
which is scary.
I mean, we had that train that crashed and had chemicals spilling all over into the ground, supplying the water supply, 6 months ago, if that?
Steve, I've got news for you. Fructose in America is used in absolutely loads and loads of products. Not just one. It's shitload.
And because it's technically a corn syrup product, they can label that under natural ingredients to a certain extent.
And as ingredients go, fructose is reasonably safe.
But high fructose corn syrup is a different matter.
It's not great for you, and certainly diabetes, it's not great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the safer products.
Well, we can do this again, Matt. We've done it before. I can walk in my kitchen and grab any food item you want. I'll show the ingredient list. If you can pronounce everything on that list, I will wire you money right now.
Exactly, Martin. Yeah. No, you're totally right. You know, I mean, if you just go through the colorings that are used in America, I mean, everything.
Well, take the mass-produced stuff out of it for a second, Matt. We're talking about food coloring, right? I can go down to the dollar store and for $1 buy a 4-pack of different colored, pure food coloring bottles.
Yeah.
People are buying this up and pouring God knows how much into whatever they're making. Oh, I want this to be blue or green or purple. Okay. But what did you just put in your fucking body?
Well, that's the thing. And this brings us back to education. And unfortunately, because of the way Americans are educated, you're educated to believe in this, and this. Well, what about this other stuff? Oh, well, don't worry about that. It doesn't matter.
Well, there's that. And like even in school, I remember we all had, the cooking classes, like the home economics, stuff like that, right? There was never a single bit of those classes that said anything about these foods are better for you, these foods are bad for you, try to avoid these foods that have these chemicals or whatever. No.
Right. I mean, cooking in America, I don't know. There are people who are good cooks. There are people who can cook food properly in America.
So you watch out. Ramsay just left. I mean,
I don't even rate Gordon Ramsay anyway, but that's a whole other story there. But there are people who can cook, and there are people who can cook food properly. It's just that you're educated in such a way to keep people stupid, keep you.
Like I said, I really want to get a hold of one of the history books from when I went to school. I really got to get a hold of one of these to show you guys the lack of information that is in these.
Yeah. The other one is, if you want to see an interesting little project, is get Pringles. Get a Pringle. Just one chip, yeah?
Oh, set it on fire?
Yeah, they burn really, really well.
The hydrocarbons burn like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. I used to take Pringles with us when I used to go camping because they're great to use as firelighters.
Yeah.
They actually are.
Yeah, and the amount of shit that is in, and our food is getting, I think our food is actually getting worse in this country. Slowly, it is declining.
Well, keep in mind, Matt, if you guys keep losing farms at this rate, and everything turns into supermarkets like ours is, you're going to be screwed.
Well, we've got a leader and we've got members of the Labour cabinet who are quite happy to sit there and say, well, we don't need farms, we can import it. But that's more expensive. Why do we need to import?
But bringing back to Lisa's 15-minute city bullshit, thing. How are you going to do that if you can't?
Because they're going to cover everywhere in their mind. They're going to cover everywhere in houses, literally everywhere.
Or solar farms.
So you're not going to have any. You're not going to have anywhere to walk. Go for a walk, green grass.
Nature will be gone.
It's gone. Right, destroyed, gone. I can't wait for Starmer to come over to Ireland and start telling farmers over here that, because I guarantee he's going to have a fucking war on his hands. There's going to be all-out fucking war. And somebody will be nutty enough to fucking try shooting him. I guarantee somebody will try shooting him.
And it won't even be like a planned thing. He's just going to piss off a farmer one day.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's farmers on the mainland who will get the farmers on the mainland aren't far off it.
Well, no, the latest one, Lee, is you're right. They do think we all need solar farms, which would work wonderful in Ireland with all the rain we get here. Anyway, but the problem is now fucking dipshit Ed is now on about nuclear. No, what we need is less people using the amount of electricity we produce. The way to do that is simple. Stop using EV cars.
Yeah.
EV cars are a drain on the electrical system. If you took away all EV cars, we would have enough electricity.
Yeah.
EVs do not work.
I mean, I could have showed you a video the other day about that. Person got literally to the charging station, like within 15, 20 feet. Full lack of battery. Mind you, everything's electric. You can't go out of park. You can't take off the emergency brake. You can't even push the car to the charging spot.
Yep.
You have to get a tow truck to lift the car, move it 10 feet, and then start charging.
Yeah, you can't tow it.
But you have to literally drag it onto a flatbed and then move it over.
Yeah, I can tell you a funny story about that.
Go ahead.
A friend of my son who works as a recovery driver, and they had a Tesla that had run out, the batteries had packed up on. Oh, he wasn't at work. He knew it was a Tesla. He knew you couldn't move it without lifting it, but he's got a Land Rover Defender. So he put a chain round the front axle of the Tesla, straight off his fucking front bar, shoved it into low range and just pulled it backwards out of the way against the gearbox. Land Rover Defender 1, Tesla 0. No. All four wheels were locked. He just pulled it backwards. He didn't give a fuck. So I just
given, like, you've seen what they've done with the newer models for brake calipers now. You can't just use a tool and compress the cylinder on them. You have to electronically go through a fucking scan tool and use a computer to retract the.
Well, you know what? I mean, the old days when you did when you did disc brakes, you got, a lot of people know this. Are probably in here. You've got your caliper. You got two pistons. Come out, push against the pads, push against the piston, boom, goes on the disc. All you do is get a G clamp, put it on there, wind it in, and just push it back.
Right, throw your old pad in there for something to press on it. Yeah.
New pads in, pins in, put it back, anti-shake pins, shims in, and away you go. Yeah, you can't do that anymore. No, it's ridiculous. It
looks like the starters being put on these bigger trucks. The starters are inside the transmission housing.
Yeah, you got to split the gearbox.
Yep.
Yeah.
To take two bolts out and unplug it and put a new one in.
Do you know who the first company to do that were? Nissan.
Really?
Nissan did it on their first Skylines. They started doing it. Don't know why they did it, but they were the first people.
Yeah, but Skylines were done kind of funky in a few ways.
That was kind of like a specialist car, so it didn't.
It was a racer. No, I can't say a racer's car, but it was the civilian racers, more affordable option people were buying.
Not many people.
It wasn't that affordable.
Exactly. So it wasn't an everyday person's car. So it didn't really matter. But they're doing it to all cars now.
Yeah.
Lee, I've seen too many videos of people pulling a gas generator out of their trunk of their Teslas because they get stranded on the side of the road. So many times.
I mean, why don't you just buy a car that's like a quarter of the price of a Tesla? Because you can. You buy a car a quarter of the price of the Tesla that's a petrol or a diesel or whatever.
And still new.
Still new. Still probably got the same sort of equipment in it, with the touchscreen, and because most cars have new now.
Yeah.
So you've got aircon, you've got all the luxuries that you want. But to fill it up to go anywhere, it takes you like 2-3 minutes. It's an interesting idea, that.
And now imagine if you're trying to charge your phone off your Tesla while you're charging, then you're there an extra hour.
God. I mean, yeah, but you've got things like the aircon pump runs off it. So if you have the aircon on, that will use more. If you've got heated windows.
That's not a question, Matt. Does it let you use the aircon and everything while you're charging?
No.
So imagine you're out, 30, 40 C somewhere and you're dying, but what are you going to do? You're going to sit there sitting with your doors open, or you're just going to stand outside the car because you're not going to sit in the car.
The only thing that works on a Tesla while it's charging is this aircon for the batteries.
Right.
Don't work that well, so there's a lot of them catching fire.
Yeah, but that's the only aircon that works on them. The aircon for the actual vehicle, forget it.
Yep.
See, to me, I just think I think in the future, and I'm on about a long way.
Theo,
in the future,
can you give her a 8 o'clock tune?
I think
no, it's 20. It's half.
EVs
10.
will eventually start working.
Theo,
it will become a thing.
Craig, take off your shoe and throw it.
Exactly.
I've remuted myself.
Exactly, Lisa. It is not a fucking EV. It's not a Capri. A Capri. No. That just to me. I mean, and then they think they're going to sell more Capris by putting Eric Cantona on it. He's a cunt anyway. Who wants
Hang on, what's a footballer got to do with cars?
Well, apparently you'll sell more if you put a footballer on it.
Not to me.
I thought I remuted myself that second time.
Oh, where about it, mate? I don't get it. I don't get why Eric Cantona suddenly means you sell more cars.
No.
I also don't get why you'd want to go and buy an EV. This is true, Lisa.
I was going to say, this is why I went and bought a 14-year-old diesel car.
I think
I could have got a new EV.
Again, I don't trust you with that much battery power. You'd be driving around. My mod's flat. Crack the battery open, grab 2 cells out.
No, Lee, I cannot imagine Bodie and Doyle in the new Capri. It's going to make like handbraking into cardboard boxes and stuff really, really difficult. I just don't even like that they've used the name. I hate it.
No.
Really, it winds me up. It pisses me off because I like. I mean, they did the same with the Mustang name, didn't they? They did the Mustang EV as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same car.
Probably. I really don't care. I have no interest in it.
Probably made in the same factory.
To me, I've never looked at an EV. No, I haven't. I just have no interest in them. None.
No.
I mean, there's nothing revolutionary about it. You've basically taken a milk float and put a different body shell on it.
And modern battery range.
Yeah.
And modern batteries.
The one I do love is moving away from the car thing. Is when we start. Right, we're going to make all lorries and buses EV.
That's going to work really well when you need to take a load from London to Aberdeen.
I mean, how much is a fucking EV bus going to weigh to have any range?
I mean,
I don't know what a bus weighs normally.
Just about 11.5 ton for a double decker.
Right, okay. Yeah.
About 11.5 ton. The single deckers are about 7.5. And the Optias we have are about 6.5.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And what do the EV versions weigh?
They will be about 15 to 16 unloaded.
Yeah.
So if they have the same capacity, 75 people adds an extra 5 ton.
Yeah, that range is going to be great.
And standing, which will be about 98. You're talking another 6 ton on top of that. So you could be pushing anything up to 22, 24 ton.
Yeah, and using that in a flat part of the world.
Yeah.
Using it down where you are, where Devon, Somerset, that part of the world, which is not known for its flatness.
Yeah.
Have they thought how much battery that is going to use getting up those hills?
I mean,
half the Amazon vans over here are electric now.
Yeah. What's the range claim to be for the buses?
I don't know. We haven't got them yet. They've just started doing some of the work at the depot because they're having to have
the charge stations,
2 or 3 substations put in for them.
Right.
There's going to be 48 buses.
We put the substations in. Where do we get the electricity from to power the substations?
Well, they're putting the cabling down the road, but onto the main road, because they'll be digging up there to obviously connecting onto where the main road is.
So they're going to connect to the main juncture box to connect to the depot.
What I'm more interested in is how much your local power station for your area, what capacity is it at now? Because once you start putting EV buses in and more EV cars and lorries,
blackouts,
of course, where are you going to get the electric from? Because I guarantee the power station's probably already running at probably 85, 90%. This is what I mean. They're not thinking about where it comes from.
Yeah. Put it in perspective. Whitby only has 3 substations. You've just put 3 in for buses.
I think there's 2.
All right, 2. Whitby's got 14,000 people living there.
I hope Wonderhead's got the solar panels going in. You see, what would make more sense is to make the entire roof of all the buses a solar panel.
You would think that'd be a given.
Not that it would be enough to recharge them.
Well, no.
You know what they should fit them with? A diesel generator. Alternatively,
that'll be on the back of the
be ropes on
the back of the engineering van, so the charger.
The repair van. Down. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to
most of their jobs can go from actual breakdowns to, I had to go charge this guy for a couple hours and then I went home.
How do you turn a bus over to get the batteries out?
That's a big screwdriver. Don't forget to turn that little red switch though. You don't want to have the power switch on.
Yeah, but you think about it. Here in Whitby, one return journey between Middlesbrough and Scarborough, which goes via Whitby, is 100 miles.
Yeah.
That's your charge for the day.
You see Craig getting in his bus first thing in the morning. Oh, shit. Hold on a minute. Getting out, crawling underneath. On.
Yeah,
no, Barry. He gets in the jackass the ship before never plugged it in.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is though, some of the vans and the light lorries that they've come out with have only got 100-mile range.
Yeah,
that's one return journey for the buses that serve Whitby.
Nothing about transport for supplies.
So
they need 4 times as long to get anything.
I know they were looking at a 35-ton tractor unit, EV tractor unit. They're normally 11 tons. The big one, really big, powerful ones, maybe 14 tons. They're looking at tripling it.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the tractor unit.
Why?
Now imagine if that battery runs away. Imagine a battery that size going to thermal runaway. You got burn time for what, a couple days at least?
Why has Lee put in supplies? Made me think instantly of Lemmy. Sorry, no, just ignore me. Yeah. No, you're right, Martin. No, yeah. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't believe petrol and diesel. I don't believe oil is running out. Not to the extent that they're saying it is.
It's not.
Really don't. I really, really don't.
It might be running out in the countries that, in certain countries, certain areas, because, well, the lovely ways people do oil deals has always been so legitimate and,
Yeah. Well, we know there's dodgy dealings happened in the past, which is why there were certain wars. But anyway, we won't go into the war thing. But I will stick to a petrol or diesel car as long as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, apparently now you can't drive in Oxford in the UK if you've not got an EV. You've got to have a petrol. You've got to have an EV. Well, that's all right. I never liked Oxford anyway.
And that's exactly what's going to happen, though.
Exactly.
They're going to make towns all EV, and people are going to stop going there.
No, it's fine. Oxford's a shithole anyway. But anyway, you're right, Lee. They can make synthetic oils and petrols.
Yeah.
That's been developed for about the past 15 years. They've been developing stuff.
Matt, they've been making biodiesel for 25
years. Biodiesel, yeah. But
biodiesel, yeah.
They do there's a bit of synthetic petrol which has been being developed for a lot of years as well. It's we've got to be EV. We've got to be. No, we haven't.
No, EV was never the answer.
Well, I mean, we went from the reason that we've got a hole in the ozone being us driving cars to it's the fault of cows farting.
Man, when you told me that, I was really hoping you were messing with me. And then I looked it up and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
I thought
No, they've found a feed additive that means they can reduce cow farts by 40%.
Will it work on Trump?
Now, hopefully,
only if it takes like complete hot air out of the whole system.
No, give it to him. He'd just vanish, hopefully.
That is exactly what it's about, Lee. Control.
Oh, end of the day, very much so in every way.
It's all about control.
Yeah, Martin, I don't know whether City Bus are going electric, but I know that Stagecoach Plymouth won't be going electric. Because the word is that they're going to get some of our older 67 plate Scanias, which will be replacing the 63 plate Scanias that they've got on the Golds. From what I gather, I gather.
Fuck it, just stick to.
So we've got hand-me-down buses now.
Oh, we've always had hand-me-down buses.
Yeah, they always have been hand-me-down buses, unless they've actually had brand new. Because in Torbay, it was a 6-year contract with the Torbay Council that they had to have new buses on the 12 routes, because it's one of the busiest routes in the country anyway. But because we're getting these electric ones eventually, they haven't bothered getting any new ones, but they're somewhere in London apparently parked up.
Anyway. I'm not saying a word to that, Lisa, because
yep.
There's so many comments I could make and get myself.
That is a comment I am not touching.
We're still using 20-year-old Tridents.
But I mean, before they started on the wind farms, we said long ago.
You just went from Lisa to wind zones.
No, my issue is he went from stopping cow farts to needing more wind in the air to create electricity.
Mm. No, I didn't.
They're contradicting each other now.
No, I didn't. I went from that to saying we never did want wind. What we wanted was high quality nuclear power stations. Because ultimately they're the cleanest of all of them.
Yeah.
They're cleaner than solar, they're cleaner than wind power, they have less problems than either.
Do you want to know my answer to all this? This is my answer. Okay. Just hear me out before you say anything. The best way is to have a source of something that you can burn to create energy to power generators that create electricity, right?
Right.
Oh, you mean those places we've shut?
Yes. But I have a new idea for this. It's revolutionary. What we do is we get anybody who is a sex offender or paedophile or murderer or a terrorist bomber, and we kill them and we put them in a big oven and we use them to help power us for electricity.
I thought he was going to say there needs to be a highly combustible prime minister going in, but you know.
Oh, he's going in first.
That's the starter for the oven.
Yeah, the government are the firelighters.
So we use these people we don't need and want on the planet who are bad people and destroy the planet. We use them to help power it. Sorted. Cuts down on the amount of people in prison, cuts down on the drain on the system, increases the energy, we get more electric out of it. The world's a better place.
And Martin, I am in a blast zone.
You see, I'd be a superb prime minister. Maybe. A bit nutty, but I mean, you know.
Why is your lead assistant a cow in a suit? I mean, you know, they'll talk shit anyway, so.
Well, you know, but yeah, Martin, I'm only 6 miles as the crow flies from Fallindales, which is one of the primary targets.
You haven't seen who my vice prime minister is. I'm having Gwendolyn in charge of home security and immigration. They're fucked.
Look, how many bodies are there going to be?
See, it works out. See,
yeah, the trouble is, you do realise we will be exporting people seeking asylum. Ah, yeah, a win. I see your point.
Oh, I thought it was good.
No.
I just think that the shit that I've just come out with, which is completely off the planet, is the sort of shit that currently our Prime Minister and Donald Trump are coming out with.
And people are agreeing with it and just throwing money at it.
That's the scary bit. They actually agree with it then. Do I think we should get rid of all paedophiles and burn them? Yeah, I do, personally. That's my thought on that. Any sex offender like that, certainly.
Definitely.
And terrorists who've killed a lot of people, bad people like that. Yeah, I do think we need to get rid of them. But some of the shit that Trump and Starmer, some of the stuff he comes out with, at the start of the week, he comes out with an idea. By the end of the week, Nigel Farage on a Wednesday has said something. And by the end of the week, he's changed it, and we're doing what Nigel Farage wants.
Yeah.
It's like Nigel Farage is secretly controlling the Labour government.
Well, I mean, the Ed Miliband's backing down, isn't he?
Ed Elastic Man?
Yeah. He's backing down on some of his green policies.
Well, he's on about nuclear now, isn't he?
Yeah, but we said that 20 years ago.
Nuclear is safe if used in the right way.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If it's not done in the right way, obviously you're going to have a situation like the Chernobyl fire, and it ends obviously very badly. Nobody wants that. But
you know how Chernobyl happened? They thought, what happens if we turn all these safeties off and then put it into full power?
Yeah.
It's like letting me loose with a stacked mech.
No, it's like letting a small Scottish man with a stacked mech.
It ain't that bad.
But that was how Chernobyl went tits up, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, they just turned all the safety off because they had a buzzer that was going off, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had a buzzer that was going off already, warning them, we'll just turn the safety mechanism off and let it...
It's equivalent of turning it off and back on again, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's a nuclear reactor. I'll just bang it on the side with an hammer. Hold on.
Right. The trouble is, once that reaction started, if you can't lift the rods back out, you cannot stop it.
I mean, it was
they turned off the safety that allowed them to lift the rods out.
Well, that was part of the emergency system, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They hit the auto stop. That's the first thing that came out as it pulled those out.
Oh, it got better from there.
But that's what they switched off.
It got better. They sent a bloke down to have a look. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. You've got a nuclear reactor going into meltdown. Just go and have a look and see what's happening. Give it a kick. No. But of course, he was brainwashed by being, the Russian Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So he thought, yes, I'll do that for my country. Come in.
The Birdmen are coming. Oh.
But the whole Chernobyl thing was just a comedy of errors.
Yeah, not funny, obviously, for the people.
Well, right.
No.
I mean, it was a terrible situation for those who were involved and people who since have been affected by it.
Yeah.
It's a terrible situation. But forgetting about that and the amount of nuclear power stations there are in the world to my knowledge, there's only ever been, I think, 2 that have gone into full. Yeah, there's 2, isn't it? Is it
2.
Fukushima?
Yeah, but Fukushima was down to the tidal wave tsunami.
That's right.
Didn't 2
And
Mile...
that was the only reason. The only reason Fukushima went into meltdown was because the tidal wave took out the power station that was all the safety systems.
Yeah.
Didn't 2 Mile Island go?
No, 3 Mile Island was just a small leak.
Right.
That was an accidental leak of radioactive water from the cooling system.
Yeah.
Fukushima was when the tsunami took out the power station that was the safety for the 3 reactors.
Yeah. I have no issue.
I remember watching that unfold live.
I personally have no issue with a nuclear power station, so long as it is run by the right people, obviously, and safely run.
I'm 15 miles from one. It's never had a single safety issue because there's Hartlepool.
Yeah. There's a lot around the country. There's no issues. But, Ed Miliband now has suddenly gone, dun, 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 what about nuclear power? Oh, I didn't think of that. Well done, Ed.
The only problem you got with nuclear power is you got too many NIMBYs.
Yep.
The people are scared of having it close within sort of 10 miles of them. I'm sorry, but a wind farm's going to cause you as many problems and potentially worse.
It is if the blade falls off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if Labour are building it, there's a good chance of that happening.
I've seen what happens when the blade falls off on one, because it happened at Sunderland.
Yeah.
Hey, he cross-threaded those bolts perfectly. They weren't coming out. It might have snapped in half at some point.
Don't joke.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't joke, because that took out 3 houses when the blade went.
Really?
Yeah.
It was that close to houses, so it could actually... Wow.
It was about half a mile away.
Oh, so it came off like mid-rotation hard enough to go flying.
Yeah.
That's a lot of steel to be flying.
Yeah, they're huge, those blades.
Those blades are massive, 220 feet.
I was to say about 200 or 300 feet long, I thought, yeah.
Yeah. Those ones, 220 feet blades.
I just don't think giant windmills are not the way forward for power in a country.
Well, think when you built sandcastles as a kid and you put a couple of windmills in, what happened? The windmills just shook the sandcastle to pieces.
Well, of course it does.
It's no fucking different.
No, it's not. It's not. No difference at all, mate. And then on top of that, you've got them saying, well, power stations. Well, nuclear is the cleanest. If you want to talk about the ecology of it, it is the best way.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Windy Miller. Fuck's sake, Lee. Windy Miller with his jar of cider. Oh, God, for fuck's sake, we got Martin thinks he's Jonathan Creek. Windy is the pair of them, but
I mean,
you got a lighthouse in Plymouth Hall.
I mean,
go on.
At the end of the day, nuclear is the cleanest, and it's the only total self-sustaining system.
Yeah.
And when they found that actually has the output to keep up, if done properly.
Oh no! I mean, if it's properly done, a nuclear power station can work very efficiently, work very well, and be perfectly safe.
I want to say Fukushima was running for decades. 3 reactors, and it powered most of the North Island of Japan.
I think Fukushima, I think it was 30 or 35 years it had been running.
Yeah.
Or it might even be more than that. It was a long time. Chernobyl, up to that point, was running okay. Until some idiot decided, oh, let's turn the alarm off and put it out.
I'm hungover in that damn buzzer.
I'll just turn it off.
But like I said, I mean, I remember watching Fukushima go up, and that was a scary thought. But it didn't do as much damage as they thought it would. Nowhere near.
No.
Because they're back living within 10 miles of the radioactive zone.
Yeah. Martin, as much as I agree with you about the hydroelectric, the issue and it's been proven with hydroelectric power, the issue with it is not as efficient. It doesn't provide enough electricity. Plus, do you really want to look out over the water or over the sea and see loads and loads and loads of stupid bobbing bits of plastic that are making the power? I just think if you've got you build some new nuclear power stations and they're run and kept running by the correct people, it's a safer, better, more efficient option.
Well, I mean, the easiest solution, Matt, will get you a kite and a key. You've got rubber on your wheels already. You'll be fine. Go out in a big storm. There we go.
Yes, that creates massive electricity for a very short space of time, Tyler. But you can't really store that.
You'd have plenty of energy for a couple seconds. Well, milliseconds.
Yeah, you'll have massive voltage. Massive, like 500,000 volts.
Oh, yeah.
But it will only last like probably half a second.
When I'm trying to actually retain any of that.
Well, this is why they're still trying to develop supercapacitors.
Yeah.
They found the problem they've got though is controlling discharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the supercapacitor wants to discharge it all at once.
Yep.
You see, I've always thought that. You had to bring this up, didn't you? So I'm going into the Nikola Tesla thing now.
Oh yeah.
I've always thought Nikola Tesla was far. His electrical system was far more efficient. He had better ideas. The whole AC alternating current, direct current argument. Direct current is a far more efficient way of doing things.
Martin, you can call yourself Marty all you want. I'm not going back to 1980. We ain't doing this.
I don't know. Going back to the start of the 80s seems like quite a good idea to me.
Mm-hmm. I can't lie. If that was actually an option.
Yeah, but you've got to think is in America, how many cars can do 88 miles an hour?
That's true.
One, the DeLorean.
Hey,
but just.
Hold on, Tyler. When were you born?
When were you born? The 1800s? I mean, 92.
Hi, Mark. Hi, William.
Hey, William.
Hi, William.
I'm just going to leave that there in your head now. Greetings, William. Hope you're well, buddy.
Well, no, I mean, some of what Tesla created was decades ahead of everybody else.
Well, at least he didn't go killing an elephant to prove how safe his fucking system was.
No shit.
I mean, that was just cruel, that was. Electrocuting an elephant to prove how safe your electrical system is. I mean, there's something really wrong with you as a person if you do that.
Yeah.
So, from a safety point of view, AC is safer.
Yeah, but DC provides a cleaner signal.
It does, but everything is regulated to an AC clock. Everything we use now is regulated by the AC frequency.
Now, Martin, are they spending your money, or are you spending your money and you're just tired from the day?
Martin, I totally agree. I think Nikola Tesla.
Hi, Gary.
He had ideas.
No, that's a really good point, Martin.
He had ideas. I've got actually one of Nikola Tesla's books that's got a lot of his drawings in and his wiring diagrams.
Yeah.
And a lot of what he's put in there, if you sit and work it out, what he put in, and I'm all about working it out with like microfarad caps, and this show's turning a bit technical probably with people, but going into that side of it, what Nikola Tesla came up with was so far ahead of its time. It's only just coming into fruition now.
Yeah.
He was years and years ahead of his time. Nothing. Yeah. Because Nikola Tesla said he wanted electricity to be for the people. He thought of it as a sort of not a God-given right, but it was something that could provide for the world.
Well, it turns into a basic necessity when you have things like refrigeration and stuff like that come into effect.
He worked out that you could have. I mean, obviously, then he worked out you could have light, you could have illumination by electricity, so a lot of the world would be able to see. All of these things, refrigeration, obviously later on cooking, things like that. He worked all this out.
Yeah.
You could provide for the world. But the problem was, sorry, but it's America, greed.
Yep.
That was the problem. It was greed.
Well, exactly. I mean, we've all seen there's been a number of different people, no matter where you live in the world, that have came up with petrol alternatives that were actually very, very viable alternatives. But then their patents got bought out by certain people, and then they disappeared.
Yeah, a lot of them strangely committed suicide. And that's definitely happened with at least two that I know of. The guy who developed a nylon engine made out of actual nylon. And because nylon, when it reaches a certain temperature, it provides its own lubrication. It doesn't even need oil. And it would have worked. It worked. It's been proven it worked.
And the other one is the hydrogen-powered engine that only needs water.
Yep.
Well, it's a byproduct of,
But now you think about it, if you're sat in an office and you're the CEO of BP or Shell or one of the big, one of those big companies, you're going to be going, oh, fuck.
If this actually makes, mainstream, we are done.
Yeah. But the water-powered engine was developed in, was it 1920 something? And the patent strangely vanished.
Yep. That's happened with a lot of patents over the years.
Yeah.
Especially to do with anything to do with the petrol and petrochemical industry.
Yep.
The same with big pharmaceutical. There was an article, there was an article written by a guy, a famous guy, about a medication which was a cancer drug, which would basically, it was a medication that you could be given to children when they're born, and it would give them protection against any cancer. And it was developed and it was tested.
Yeah, it was some kind of cell blocker, wasn't it? Where it wouldn't allow certain types of cancerous cells to actually.
I said Toyota were working on it late, and so were Honda. They've come at the same problem from opposite ends, but the end solution is very similar. It's a hydrogen-powered engine. It's just the way the fuel cells work that's different.
Well, electric vehicles aren't a new thing. They go back to the end of the, like you say, the end of the 1800s. So
yeah,
it's just that batteries have developed. JCB have already built who to the punch? What? Gary, can we make that a bit clearer?
No, they've come out. They've got a hydrogen-powered JCBs.
Oh yeah, hydrogen. Yeah, hydrogen. But the issue with hydrogen is making it so that it is cheap enough to refuel.
I'll say the JCB ones though require hydrogen liquid.
Yeah.
What Toyota and Honda have been working on is taking it from water by splitting water, powering it, and the only waste is water.
Yes, it was, Lisa. A milk float was electric, and yes, can you imagine Bill driving around Whitby on a milk float with the song sung by Benny Hill? Oh,
Jesus!
Yeah, but just think. Don't let it get over 10 miles an hour, Father Ted.
No, see, Lee, there you go. It's not about emissions and everything. The EV craze started to stop vapors from having batteries. You got it, buddy.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, the problem, like I said, Gary, the problem JCB have is they produce getting enough hydrogen liquid is a problem, and storing hydrogen liquid is a problem because it's capable of passing through just about any solid.
Nice that we've all seen those geniuses at the pump sitting there trying to fill their car up. You know, spilling gas and everything all over the place. Yeah, let's give them a hydrogen nozzle and see what happens.
Ernie, the fastest milk float. I've got that stuck in my head now.
Yeah, I've got it in my head as well.
I didn't have, but I have now, you twat.
Yeah. It's all right, Tyler. We'll play it for you after the show.
I'm afraid you were going to say that. Now I'm going to have
one. Hey, if we've got if I fucked everybody else's head up, including my own, I'm fucking yours up too. You're not getting away with it.
No, Toyota have already managed it.
On to that exciting segment of the show where has anybody seen anything worth buying vape related? Go.
Sort of.
If that Times Vape Mech comes out, That side fire, maybe, depending on their price.
Sort of.
And you got the 200 watt hammer guard as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, William. That was you didn't have to write it so much.
What was the other one I was looking at?
Yeah,
we know that they've got some ESEG one. I've got some reductions on the Nivox Bellato, which is similar to the
Nivox. Yeah, the Nivox Bellato is a very good mod, but it's 0.5 millimeter narrower than a lot of the billet box tanks.
Boros.
It's 0.5 millimeter narrower. So one of the side plates gets a little bit of a rock on it.
It's got a bit of a wobble. Apparently, there's a new topside single coming out. Apparently, according to William.
Yeah, that's been meant to be coming out for ages.
Not really, because anything that I use squonk-wise, I can use on the dual. So,
yeah,
probably not something that I will be looking into. The only thing I want is the Oxford DNA pod.
I mean, shoot, the only squonks I have are mechs. You know.
Well, it's not a squonker. Yeah. Oh, proper mechs.
That's because I've got the TS from Defiant Designs, and then the original the SQ squonk.
And when's the last time you squonked on it?
I haven't used either one of those in so long. They're both cleaned out and put back in the packaging.
Why does my brain, when you say squonking on something, sound really, really dodgy?
Just you.
That's just you, man.
Look up Urban Dictionary. Look up the word squonking and see what it says. You'll understand.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Given you remember the old 2014 Grim Green reviews and stuff, he'd be like, I hate to have to say this, but this drip tip feels really good in my mouth. I'm just gonna. We know what you mean, but you didn't have to say it.
It was really soft on his lips.
This one's too short. It doesn't protrude or not. No.
I don't know what they're going to call it, Martin. But it's a 3-stage hydration separation system.
No, Gary, I have not. I've been in a straight manic episode for a week at work, so it's been a blur.
He's been trying to learn how to weld. That's what it is.
Well, I chewed the bubblegum longer this time.
I've been right. American welding. Looks like a fucking budgies shit all over it.
It's all right. My niece just bought her first motorcycle.
Over it and then spray it silver.
A grinder and paint make me the welder I ain't. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know how redneck you sounded.
I can make it worse. I can go the old accent if I go out of state into the boonies and the hills and everything. Give me a day or two down there talking to people that have a thick accent. It gets bad really fast.
Go out of state for a Saturday, come back on the Sunday, and do the show. It'd be hilarious.
But no, my niece bought her first bike the other day, got her, temps and everything.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey, can you come see my new bike I got? All right, go look at it. I'm not looking at the bike. I'm looking at the welds on, on the column, on the trim, on everything. No. For a 2025, never been off the showroom floor bike, I should not see welds that are bulging out across, where your two rims coming together. You got undercut across the whole one side. You got where it tried to drip on the bottom side of it.
Was it Chinese?
What did she end up getting? A 500cc 2025 Honda.
I'm very surprised if the welding's that bad.
Like I said, it wasn't. But you could tell that it was hand done. Like normally you'd be able to tell. Like, normally you would see a machine clean. You know the difference in a bead when it's machine done and constant travel speed. But
no, Honda have got a factory in America though to make the bikes.
So they sell all the good stuff to Europe. Yeah, that's okay. They buy Harleys. We'll sell them the cheap shit.
But it's not a bad little bike or anything. But yeah.
I mean, the engines are shipped over from China or Japan for the Hondas, but everything else is made in America and it's all assembled in America.
Mm.
What's like?
Which means the frames are shit.
Like Ford's commercials right now, all their main line is what is the number one employer of Americans for manufacturing and and who produces more vehicles in America. And it's us, it's Ford. Okay. None of your stuff that you're assembling in America is built here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like, okay, you put the screw in, good for you. You didn't assemble the entire fucking throttle body.
Yeah. It's all being shipped over from Germany.
Gary, don't for a second believe what you see that everybody in America rides a Harley. Because they don't. Don't for a second believe that shit.
Honestly, it got a lot more. I mean, late 90s, early 2000s. There was a lot of the cruisers, the Shadows, all that shit, and then of course the Harleys. But no, the crotch rockets and all that shit came out, all the street bikes, and now you got idiots doing 175 in the middle of stop traffic. Yeah.
Buy a faster car.
I was going to say one of the most popular is the 400 and 500 singles, Japanese in America. That's probably the most successful bikes over there now.
America's since like the 60s and 70s. America's not really bought many Harleys. They tend to stick to they buy a lot of Jap bikes.
Yeah.
Because they actually work. Yeah, they're reliable. Harley Davidson, not so much.
I'll say you still see a lot of 20-year-old Hondas and Suzukis and Kawasaki's.
And they'll be running fine.
Yeah.
Well, the Harley's fallen to bits in the shed.
Well, and the lovely level of chrome will last for decades. Don't worry about that. It might be a little brown after 6 months, but
the chrome's fine. Everything else on the bike's fallen to pieces.
Usually the chrome on Harley, you shut the garage door and it all falls off on the floor.
Yeah, like I said, the chrome is fine. Everything else has just collapsed.
I'm not surprised, to be honest, Martin, that the Chinese have always done this. They imitate. They're very good at imitation and fake. So they're very good at taking something and then for a few years it'll be absolutely crap. It'll be absolutely terrible. Then all of a sudden they'll suddenly get really, really good. That's China.
It's like
they develop stuff and don't even touch it until it's completely done and run the old shit until the new stuff's completely tuned in.
They've perfected a lot of Honda copies of China.
This is the problem with America. Well, no. It's wrong to say America. But this is the problem with Trump. Trump seems to think that everybody in China is still in a paddy field, rice field, up to their knees in a muddy field, eating rice. I've got news for you. They fucking are not. They are some of the most technically minded people in the world.
I mean, shit, they have sections of sidewalks that are built in major cities. The sidewalks have built-in platforms for generating electricity because of the foot traffic.
Yeah.
Because they have the research and design teams that are researching and designing these things.
Well, they're actually spending the funding to use these ideas that could, do things instead of putting it behind, we've got other things that are more important.
Gary, most of JBL speakers are made in China. JBL used to be an American company.
Used to be.
Most of their stuff is... here's one for you then, Gary. Tell me what the JBL stands for without looking it up. There's something for him to go and think about. I'll get you something for you to find out, that is. And JBL's first speakers were not used for music.
No, they weren't.
They were theatre speakers.
I said they were an offshoot of another big company in America.
What?
Well, it was the brothers when the father died. The brothers split.
It was a bit like the Foden ERF lorry thing. It was, they went separate ways.
Yeah.
Which is why you find a lot of JBL, not their cheap range, but their good range, use horn speakers.
No, not Bose.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, well done, Lisa. Lisa remembered that all on her own without Googling it. Yeah, John Bradshaw Layfield. Very clever man. Very clever man, actually. And when he first started the company, he made it all. He made the speaker. Yeah, he made the actual speakers. He made the crossovers, the wiring. He made the actual cabinets, everything. Literally everything.
And oh God, I can't remember the name of the other brother, the other side of the company. I've got a couple of their speakers. They're bloody good.
You've not done a dive on us, have you? They're in a room somewhere, buried under a load of stuff.
Yeah, they are.
Martin, you are a fool.
Is it Altec?
It was Altec, yeah, but I can't. I think it might have been Altec, because Altec.
I think Altec was the other brother.
Yeah, you might have.
The company was started by the father.
I didn't Google it. I was getting cookies. Cookie Monster. That means Lisa's blood sugars are crashing. Bless her. Yeah, top work, Mercer. Keep it up, mate. You're doing well.
Yeah, it's Altec Lansing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started theatres. And they were the first one to produce full 3D sound in theatre.
Yeah.
In the 1920s.
Yeah. Well, yeah, most stuff is designed. That's normal. Stuff will be designed in America and then it's produced in China because the production costs are cheaper. That's why your profit level is. Yep.
Because they were designing in America and then had them manufactured in China.
Yeah.
I don't get why people have this big issue about Chinese products because
Chinese. Chinese.
Exactly, Martin.
Chinese.
What this is what makes me laugh with Trump with his, the Chinese are all stupid or whatever he thinks. No.
If Xiaomi can make laptops as well as they make phones, be spot on.
Don't know anything about the laptops from them. I've had a phone from them, and it was very, very good.
I'm on my second phone from them.
Yeah, they produce very good stuff. Personally, I wouldn't have a MacBook or an Apple product if you paid me.
No.
But that is my personal preference. If you like Apple products, that's cool. The same as I'd never own a set of modern JBL speakers because I can't stand them. To me, they sound tinny as fuck. They have no soul.
See, I can only see using them for like at my work, in a shop environment where it's already loud. So you're not hearing your stuff clearly anyway.
Bluetooth speakers and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good at that.
To be honest, though, Tyler, I would look at trying to find some of the Altec speakers instead. Because in America, you can still find them more easily.
You can do that with Samsung as well, Gary. Yeah, the Samsung tablet, the Samsung phone.
Yeah, I mean,
all that stuff's got interconnected everything now. It seems like
it's like my YouTube. My YouTube is connected to my laptop.
Yeah,
my YouTube is connected to my main telephone, main TV in the front room. So if I'm watching something down here and I go into the front room, I just go onto my phone, boom, and up it comes on telly. Yeah. So
I take a photograph with that, and in 5 seconds' time, I'll look at it on my laptop.
Exactly, Martin. Exactly. Bill and I are the same about that. There's a lot of good headphones.
Yeah,
you can get headphones. We've got some. They're called Earphone.
Yeah,
I don't know why they chose such a shit name. It's a fucking awful name, especially when you think of a certain person. But anyway, and I'll tell you what. I think what do we pay? 50.
About 50, 54.
54. Yeah, they're superb. The sound quality from them, absolutely. You can get better.
It's got the thing is, it's got a Snapdragon processor in each bloody headphone.
Battery life is really good. They recharge in
a couple of hours max.
Yeah, not long at all.
Yeah. Tidy little unit, and it's got full Snapdragon sound processing.
Yeah, it works really well. Yeah.
And if you've got it hooked up to your phone, you can sit there at the sound settings. I think there's about 50 channels of per earphone.
I'll be back in a minute. He wants me to say
change your bed.
Have you got to go and tuck him in? He's going to pull the duvet nice and tight. No. Yep, that's the one.
The pillow's meant to be under the head. Oh.
No, it's not.
So when he comes back in, wiping blood off his hands. Whoa, what are you doing now?
But I mean, I only found out about the earphones because they won one of the Hi-Fi awards.
Yeah, and they had one of the dearer sets.
Yeah, for this company, they are.
They're normal priced around like 20, 30 quid. It's crazy.
The only difference is these have a full DSP in them.
Yeah, and it works really well.
It does.
Right. Oh, I suppose we better wait till...
That's the amount of wait till Craig come back.
Wait till Baldy Man gets back.
No, just end the show and let him come back and be like, oh, sorry.
Oh, I've got my own.
But I mean, I've got AKGs. I've got Superlux. I've got Sennheisers. Actually, I've got 3 pairs of Sennheisers that I use.
And still only 2 ears.
Yeah.
Yes, but certain headphones work better for certain things.
This is true. For the laptop, these are the best. Yeah, or I go to the proper headphones.
Yes, Gary, Xiaomi use their own. Well, it's Android, but they use their own Android. But to be honest, there's a few apps they usually add, but you can go in and delete those anyway.
Yeah, they've got another trick as well, though. Within 2 hours, they've set the phone up to whatever your settings were on your previous phone anyway.
Yeah.
And that all just happens in the background.
Yeah. I think they're good. I don't know why anybody is paying like ridiculous money for phones anymore.
I mean, I paid 130 quid for my phone. Yeah. And it's got everything that a £600-700 Samsung's got.
Yeah, but you look at the latest Apple phones and they're like 12 and 1300 quid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fuck off.
But, you know.
Think there's some of these other models that you're talking about, like phone wise, we can't get here.
Yeah.
If you look at,
they're so advanced, they've actually blacklisted certain phones.
Yeah, but there's a website, GSM, that tests every phone. And Xiaomi, they sit there and they go, don't know how they do it. There are £1,000 phones that can't do as much.
Yeah.
You know, there are a couple of £1,000 Samsungs that can't do as much because it's got an 8-core processor in it.
Yeah.
8 gig RAM and 256 internal hard drive.
Gary, it's like those guys that only run, purges and I run this because this is who made. I don't care who made it. You push the button, it does the same thing that this does.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's if you can push the button on the purge, but.
Well, yeah, let's not even get into that one.
I've got one of the MS mobs styled.
Yeah.
RBAs in this, and I haven't stopped using it in this.
Fucking clone. No, but
it's really. I've got the biggest hairpin in it. Got a 2.5mm coil in it. Copper coil as well. And it goes nicely.
Yeah. Go on then, ladies. Do your goodbyes.
All right, I'll start this week.
Now he's come back from murdering his son.
All right, you go first then, Craig.
I'll go first. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us as usual. Been a good one as usual. I hope everyone has a good week. The group is there if anyone is struggling. Have a good week. We'll be back again next week. And I'll pass it on to Tyler.
Thank you, Greg. Well, as always, you guys know the link's there. If you guys ever need anything, that's what it is. Past that, I hope everybody has a good week, and hopefully we have no more great surprising. Matt, you are creepy. Quit it. I can't tell he's trying to be creepy or if his head just went, oh yeah, I forgot about that side. Oh, Yeah, I'm just gonna cover this part.
Just be thankful you didn't get the view me and Craig got earlier.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what happened. I'm assuming Matt fell off the chair, but you know.
No, Matt did not fall off the chair. Not this time.
Oh. Yeah. Like Craig said, guys, you need us. You know where to find us. We've been doing this one for over a year. If you guys have ideas for a show, topic, something you want to talk about, shoot one of us a message. You know, we'll always bring up what we can within reason of appropriateness. Keep that, please, in mind. But we also have Matt, so appropriateness went out the window. Oh, about 2 hours and 4 minutes ago.
I don't do anything inappropriate.
Often.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's it for me this week, guys. Bill, say your goodbyes, buddy.
Yeah. Now, it's been a good show. We've managed to get into some really strange territory this evening as well. From nuclear power to Nikola Tesla. Oh, and pets as support animals. Which was how we got from pets to Nikola Tesla, I'm not sure.
There is a link. He liked pigeons, didn't feed him pigeons, Nikola Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were his support animal. There you go. There's a link for you.
Anyway, as the guys have said, the group's there if you need us. If you have any ideas, either send us a message or post it in the group even.
Yeah.
We can soon see what people's feedback is on it. And hope you all have a really good week. Over to you, Matt.
Yeah. Just creep Tyler out a bit more.
Well, I'm not trying to process my thoughts anymore, so I'm actually doing them.
Right, yeah, good show. Oh, it's Melissa's birthday next week.
Hope you have a good birthday then, Melissa.
Yeah, enjoy your week.
Tyler will be sending you lots of gifts, he said. Yeah, we will be back.
Plenty of Pringles. We got to keep you ready for camping.
If you have got any ideas you want us to do or talk about, yeah, within reason, we'll do pretty much any subject, so that's not an issue. The usual stuff is there if you need to get hold of us. Coping with new and rare diagnosis. Yeah, we could do that one if you want, Lisa. You can come on and talk about your rare diagnosis.
Yeah.
Case study of one, Lisa.
Case study of one, yes. Is Lisa mad? Answer on a postcard before I get slapped. But we shall say goodbye for now, guys, and I hope you all have a good week. So we shall see you later.
See you later. Have a good week,
everybody.
Good night, all.